Hi, I'd like to tell you about a new feature in vZome for capturing animations and show you how to use the feature. I've recently discovered a very simple mechanism for presenting an interactive turntable view in a web page. Here we see such a page created by Niles Johnson to display his paper model of the Klein quartic. The images don't have to be actual photographs, of course, so vZome can support an animation like this just by exporting the right sequence of images. Here's how the feature works. As with all vZome exports, you control the size of the exported image just by resizing the vZome window. While capturing the images, vZome will automatically rotate the model. This begs the question, what is the axis of rotation? Let's go back to look at the simple animation. You can see that the object rotates around an axis that passes through this ball at the top and another at the bottom. You can also see that the axis is tipped a little, so we seem to be looking down on the rotating object, as if it were on a table. For simplicity, I've defined the rotation axis as a red axis when the model is in the default orientation for a new vZome model. You can orient the model with any red axis snapped into place just by matching this red-eyed owl orientation of the trackball. This model has icosahedral symmetry, so any red axis will be a good one for the rotation. When you use the Capture Animation command, you'll be prompted for a location to save the animation frame images. Since vZome will generate 80 files, it is a good idea to create a new folder. The file name you give doesn't matter, since vZome will name the files in a fixed way, regardless. You can see vZome rotate the model as it captures each frame. When it finishes with all 80, the orientation will be back to where you started. While vZome is capturing those images, let's look at how to view the result in the browser. First, we'll open a terminal session in the folder we chose. Notice that vZome has placed two extra files there, an HTML page and a JavaScript library. This means that our animation is ready to use if we set up a simple web server. The easiest way to do this is with Python, which is pre-installed on every Mac and freely available on Linux and Windows. With the web server running, we're ready to view the result in the browser at localhost 8000. So we've generated this very nice interactive animation. But remember that we used a model that worked well with the default rotation axis. What about a model that has no axis of fivefold symmetry, or that has a different rotational symmetry that we'd like to highlight? The easiest thing to do is to simply ignore symmetry, find a camera angle that you like, and capture the animation. vZome doesn't care whether you've snapped your orientation to that default red axis or not. It will always use a rotation around that virtual axis relative to the current camera angle. If you want to highlight threefold symmetry, there is a trick that works nearly perfectly. First, configure the sulfur strut orbit, the light yellow one, as available for snapping. Note that sulfur lies on the line between adjacent red and blue axes. This will help us find it on the trackball. Now, orient your preferred threefold axis as you see here. Snap to the sulfur axis, and then capture the animation. The result will show an almost imperceptible wobble, but it's very hard to detect. That's it for animation capture in vZome. Enjoy, and please share any comments or questions.